everyone, it's Jananie and welcome back to my channel, This Story Ain't Over. So today I am coming to you with my July, oh my god. So July has been like a month of months, but it's fine. I'm happy to move into a new month, though it is like 8 months into the year and I'm just like, how did 2020 get away from me? But also, I mean, it's been a weird year. So I did want to touch upon a couple books that I read recently, post my like 4 books you need to read video that I managed to finish in the past like weekish. So those 2 books are The Henna Wars by Adiba Jaigirdar and An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This is a reread and I actually have a dedicated video for this coming very soon. It might already be up before this video, I'm not sure. But regardless, these were both great. Absolutely love them, both by Muslim authors, and you should go pick them up. I just wanted to kind of plug that before I tell you my TBR today. So this month is a very exciting month because I am participating in a readathon. I did touch upon this in my July TBR when I kind of announced that I would be one of the hosts for it, and that is the Read-Eh-Thon, which is the Canadian Read-A-Thon that we are doing. So the Read-A-Thon is a readathon that was created by Kayla from Books and Lala, and she is awesome. I love her videos. And so happy to be one of the hosts for this readathon, also because I am Canadian. But I will tell you about the other hosts for this readathon. They are all wonderful, so you should go subscribe to them, go watch their videos, and follow them along for the week so that you can see what's up for the readathon. So the next host is Zoe from Zoe's All Booked, Injeri from Onyx Pages, Natasha from My Reading is Odd, Paige from Minimal Bookie, Rue from Rue's Reading Corner, and Jill from The Book Bully. All of them are super great and you should be following them along for the readathon, and I'm just so excited to be kind of hosting along with them. And yeah, all of the hosts will be linked down below as well, so you can go check out their channels as well. All right, so before I tell you which books I'm gonna read for the Read-A-Thon, I thought I would go over the challenges again. I did kind of flash them on the screen during my July TBR, but I wanted to kind of show you them again and kind of talk through them for you. So there are a bunch. This is a bingo card of challenges. You do not have to do all of them. Feel free to kind of double up on challenges for books or triple up, whatever you want. You don't actually have to do like a full bingo thing, or you don't have to stick to the challenges at all. You can just read a bunch of Canadian books. I think that is like the main objective. So one of the challenges is to read a book by an Indigenous author. Another is a story about a loving relationship. So this can be like a romance or like a loving relationship in a family. A book from a Canadian publisher. Nature on the cover, set in a province or territory you haven't been to. And then there's also a challenge to read a book from a province or territory that you have been to. Another challenge is to read a book about Black Canadian history. And then we also have anti-racism literature, a debut author, an LGBTQIA+/queer story as well. You also have the option to read a Canadian children's book, which is always a lot of fun. Another challenge is to read an immigrant/refugee story. And then we also have a Canadian Book Award nominee, red on the cover, a book by a Black author, and something that's not a novel. So that could be like a graphic novel, a picture book, literally anything that you can think of. So I'm really bad about reading Canadian books, so I'm super excited to be kind of participating in this and making that, you know, pointed effort, and hopefully I will find more Canadian books. If you guys have any favorites, leave them down below. I would love to pick them up. I did want to recommend one book before I get into my TBR, which is one of my favorite Canadian books, and that is a queer POC story, and it is The Love and Lies of Roxana Ali by Sabina Khan. Sabina Khan is Canadian, and I didn't know that when I read this, but I love this book. It is one of my all-time favorite books and means so much to me. It's about a Bangladeshi main character who lives in the States and is a lesbian, and when her parents kind of find out, they are determined to kind of pray the gay away, and they cart her off to Bangladesh to kind of set up this arranged marriage. And it is a really interesting and nuanced portrayal of queer POC experience, and although she is faced with a lot of homophobia in the book, she's also finding the pockets of allyship within her own community, which I thought was wonderful. So this is a great book. Definitely recommend if you are planning to participate in the Read-A-Thon. All right, so the first book that I'm hoping to read for the Read-A-Thon is Policing Black Lives by Robin Maynard. I've heard really amazing things about this book, and the subtitle is State Violence in Canada from Slavery to Present. So this does have a kind of broad scope. It covers the Black History challenge and also anti-racism challenge, and it's also by a Black author. So it fits a lot of challenges, and I'm really excited to read it. And it's quite a short book. It's a lot shorter than I was expecting, so I definitely think it's something that I can manage for the Read-A-Thon. All right, the next book that I'm hoping to read for the Read-A-Thon is Hunted by the Sky by Tanez Bathena. This is a Canadian author, and this is a story that is inspired by medieval India, which was literally all I needed to pick this up. I am so excited about it, and just look at this gorgeous girl on this cover. Like, I mentioned this in an anticipated releases video, and all of you were like, that cover is gorgeous, and I'm like, yes. Agreed. This follows our main character, Ghoul, who has a star-shaped birthmark on her body. It's on her arm, and because of that birthmark, many girls in her kingdom of Umbar have gone missing. But it's also because of that birthmark that the king of like another kingdom, I think, killed her parents, and so she kind of wants revenge and she doesn't know what to do, and so she's kind of taken in by this group of rebel women called the Sisters of the Lotus, which I thought was the coolest thing ever, and I'm just like already so excited. Sorry, Sisters of the Golden Lotus. So she's taken in by like this rebel group, and they're kind of training her, and her mission is kind of like revenge. She wants to get revenge for her family. And then we have our main male character, whose name is Kavas, and his father is terminally ill, and so he's gonna die, but Kavas is kind of like about to kind of sign his life away to the military and join the like evil king's army. But right before that, he ends up meeting Ghoul in a bazaar, and I think she's gonna try and use him in some way in her revenge plot, and that's about all I know, and I'm like so darn excited about this. This just came out very, very recently, I think in June, but yeah, this was like all I ever wanted in a fantasy book, and so here I am getting it. I hope it's gonna be just as awesome as I think it will be, and I really do think it is. I've heard really great things about this author's other books as well, but most of them have been contemporaries, so I'm interested to see if her fantasies will also hold up. All right, the next book that I'm hoping to pick up is The Boat People by Sharon Bala. I've been meaning to read this for a very long time. It's won like a bunch of Canadian awards, and it was kind of really big when it came out. And this actually follows a man who is a refugee from Sri Lanka following like the Civil War, and he, along with 500 other refugees, are on a boat to British Columbia, and they kind of land on the shores. But they are all kind of taken into custody, and there's like a court case that comes along with it, and he has a lawyer named Priya, and then there's also a third-generation Japanese-Canadian adjudicator who is given the job of deciding these refugees' case. And it's told through their alternating perspectives, and it's talking about refugee experience, and I just think it's gonna be so darn good. I've really wanted to read a refugee story, and I'm also just excited because it deals with Sri Lankan refugees. If you don't know, my parents are from Sri Lanka. I was born here though, in Canada, but I'm just really interested to read this story and kind of experience this. And the next book that I'm hoping to pick up is The Marrow Thieves by Sharon de Molin, and this is a book by an Indigenous author. It's kind of a dystopian is what I've heard, and basically in this world people are hunting Indigenous people for their bone marrow, and I have only heard amazing things about this. I'm just really excited about it. It's a very short book, so I definitely think it's manageable during the Readathon, and I really want to make it a priority to read more Indigenous books, and I've actually bought more recently, so I'm hoping to pick those up as well after the Read-A-Thon. It's just those ones aren't Canadian. But if you guys know any other Indigenous books that you love, leave them in the comments down below. So those are the 4 books that I'm hoping to pick up for the Read-A-Thon. I know it's a 7-day Read-A-Thon, but I know I'm a slow reader, and I know I'm not going to read every single day, so I think 4 is a manageable number. Like 2 of these are like really short, and then the other 2 are kind of longer, so I feel like when I spread them across it'll be fine, and there's no requirement to read 7 books. You can just read as many as you want as long as you're reading Canadian books. So yeah, I think these are gonna be great, and I honestly don't know which I'll start with, but regardless, I think I'm gonna have so much fun with this, and I think having narrowed it down, I feel like it'll be a lot more manageable. But yes, so I'm gonna be vlogging the entire week, so you can follow along. I won't be putting up daily vlogs because that's just too much work. I will put it up at the end of the week so you guys can get all my thoughts on these 4 books. I'm just so excited to read them. All right, and then the other 2 books I'm hoping to pick up this August are So You Want to Talk About Race by Ijoma Alua. I bought this a while ago, and I am now finding the time to read it, so I'm very excited, and I've heard some really great things about it. It's also on the short side, but it is basically a nonfiction anti-racist book for non-Black POC and also for white people, so I think it's gonna be great. I just can't wait to pick it up and kind of learn more. And then the last book that I'm hoping to pick up for August is 10 Things I Hate About Pinky by Cynthia Menden. I love a good Cynthia Menden book. You all know I love her. She has South Asian main characters on her covers, brown kids just having fun, living their lives and having a good time, and it just makes me so happy. But I'm especially excited about this one because the main character in this one is a side character in There's Something About Sweetie, which I absolutely loved, and I actually just love her Dimpleverse books, so I think this is gonna be awesome. And the love interest is kind of like this nerdy, weird guy who's like really protective of his mother and like kind of sheltered, but Pinky is this very like loud, outspoken, political girl. But yeah, I just think this is gonna be a really interesting book. And the title is also based off one of my all-time favorite movies, which is 10 Things I Hate About You. It's an awesome movie. Go watch it. It is like, oh, it's just so good. Like there's baby Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it, and there's like Heath Ledger in it, and everyone is just so awesome in it. And it's also based loosely off of the Shakespeare play, The Taming of the Shrew. So I hope this is kind of gonna pull those elements as well. And it seems like it will, based off of what I know about the characters. But yeah, I'm just ridiculously excited about this. So cannot wait to pick it up. Yes, those are all the books that I'm hoping to pick up this month. I kind of kept my TBR short this time around so I can actually finish some books. I'm really excited for the Read-A-Thon, and I hope you guys will join along. And I will leave all the links down below for recommendations and places you can find other Canadian books. Just because I haven't read a lot, I don't feel comfortable recommending them to you, so I will let you, decide for yourself which ones you are interested in. But that's all I have for this video, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll participate. Let me know your Indigenous book recs and your Canadian book recs down below, and also what you're planning to read for August. I would love to hear from you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. So please remember that this story ain't over. Bye!